So unless they're like gone at grandma's house or a babysitter's house, there are no breaks. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Rachel. If you are new here, I'm married to my husband Phillip, and we have two toddlers together, one 3-year-old, almost 4-year-old girl named Noelle, and one 2-year-old, almost 3-year-old boy named Caleb. But today I'm going to be sharing with you my pros and cons of being a stay-at-home mom. If you are thinking about being a stay-at-home mom, if you are just watching this video to feel like you can relate as a fellow stay-at-home mom, whatever the reason, I'm going to be giving you 5 pros and 5 cons of being a stay-at-home mom. So just to preface this, I know there's more pros and more cons than what I'm going to be telling you, but these are just ones that I've come up with, ones that I feel are important to say. But I'm actually going to start with the cons because I don't want to end this video on a bad note. I'd rather end it on a more positive note. But my first con of being a stay-at-home mom is that it can get boring or monotonous. When you do like the same thing every day, a lot of moms have routines with their kids just to kind of get through the day, is like always looking at the clock for the next thing, the next part of their routine that they have to get done. It can get really boring just doing the same thing day in and day out. And then when you have like playtime and there's like a long stretch in between things that you have to get done, the time passes very slowly. Especially when you're like me and try not to be on your phone scrolling through social media while you're with your kids. It can get hard to feel like you don't have anything to do and you're like trying to play with your kids, trying to be there with them, in the moment with them, but it does get boring. That's why a lot of times we'll get up and get out of the house so that we're not stuck inside doing the same things day in and day out. But sometimes you don't feel like doing that, and just know that it'll probably be a little boring, a little bit of a long day, especially if your kids are misbehaving or whatnot. But you will get through it. You'll never be more excited for bedtime in your life, but you will get through it. The day's not gonna stop even though it feels like it is. So my next con is that you aren't gonna have any adult interaction unless you're getting out of the house or having a friend over. Most of the time it's going to be just you and your kids. You're only going to have little toddlers or babies to talk to, and that can be hard sometimes too. Sometimes you just want to vent or talk to someone who's your age or around your age, and you're not going to be able to do that, so you're just kind of talking into the air, talking to a camera like I am. For me, I'm more of an introvert, so not having the adult interaction doesn't always affect me as maybe an extrovert would be affected by. I am always happy when my husband comes home and I can tell him about our day and things like that. But as someone who's an introvert, it's not always a problem for me. But for an extrovert, I know this would be like super challenging, getting your energy from like other people and being around other people your age. So just know going in, it's gonna be just you and your toddlers. Like really think about that in your head, like how that will affect you. Will it make you go crazy or not? Just know that unless you're getting up and going to see someone, you may not have the adult interaction every day that you might crave. Okay, con number 3 is you are the sole person responsible for everything that goes on at home. That includes like taking care of the house, making sure your kids are alive. It can feel like a lot of pressure because you're not gonna have any help. Like it's just you and your kids who basically depend on you to do just about everything, especially if you have a newborn. And that is hard. It's hard to feel that pressure, realizing that it's just you. If things don't get done, it was your fault. If things do get done, you did it, but was it good enough? Sometimes you're gonna feel like you have to explain to your husband, this is why this didn't get done today. And sometimes things aren't gonna get done, and that's okay. Like you have a human or humans you are taking care of all day long. They literally depend on you for everything. And sometimes they're gonna act out. Sometimes you're gonna be playing with them all day, lose track of time. Sometimes they're just gonna be more needy that day and just need you every second of every day, and you're not gonna have time to do anything else. You're not gonna have the energy to do anything else. For me, sometimes when like they have nap time or quiet time, I I don't want to do anything. Like, that is my time to take a break. So sometimes things just don't get done, and that's okay. It'd be different if you didn't have kids to take care of, but you do, and that is ultimately your number one priority, are your kids. So if your house doesn't get clean that day, it's okay. But since you're a stay-at-home mom, kind of going along with that, you're also going to be in charge of like anything. Like if they have to go to preschool, you have to call the preschools and figure out application processes and things like that. Doctor's appointments, you're handling that because your husband or your partner is going to be working. So obviously they're not going to be making those calls, and you don't really have an excuse, like you're home, so you're going to be making those calls. So like staying on top of things, making sure everything is done, everybody gets to their activities or their appointments on time, that is on you. So that might make you a little frazzled or stressed out or feeling that pressure. But that is just one of the responsibilities that comes with being a stay-at-home mom. My con number 4 is you don't really have any breaks, like any real breaks. Like, yeah, your kids may nap or have quiet time or something, but you are always gonna be on. If your kids are at home, you're gonna be on, you're gonna be thinking about them. What are they doing? Are they breathing? What is the next thing that we have to do? I feel like for me personally, I can just never really relax when I'm home and my kids are having quiet time. It's always like, oh man, they're fighting again, or they're throwing their toys loudly, or there's just always noises. There's always like things that you're thinking about in the back of your mind. So you're never really gonna have like a real break. You'll have like some semblance of a break, maybe, but you can't just drop everything and go take a break like you can if you're going to like a job. So that can be kind of hard because you're gonna feel burnt out because you're working literally 24/7. If the kids wake up in the middle of the night, you're going up there to go see them. Luckily, like my husband would be home during that time and he could help me out with that. But like during the day for breaks and stuff, if they are upstairs, you may not have an upstairs, but like in my case, if they're upstairs making a ton of noise or fighting, I'm having to constantly go up there and like break up fights, make sure they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, things like that. So it's never like a constant sit down for an hour or two type of deal. And I can't turn my mind off to everything that goes on while they're here. So unless they're like gone at grandma's house or a babysitter's house, there are no breaks, no like real long breaks. So just keep that in mind. And because of that, it might make you feel resentment towards your partner who is leaving to go to work every day and getting breaks and getting to come home. Like when you're a stay-at-home mom, your home is your job and you basically never leave. So it'd be the same thing as someone just going off to work and like sleeping there, basically. That would be what that was like. And I try not to resent my husband for not having to be in charge of like everything at home at your job. Like he is a manager for what he does, but he has a team of people who can help him. I don't have a team of people who can help me. It's just me. So not having breaks in between and never getting to leave your kids basically can cause resentment, but that is just something you will have to communicate with your husband. Let him know that you're gonna need his help when you get home. A long day, no breaks, all that. So communication with that is important so that resentment isn't like a huge issue in your marriage. But just keep in mind that breaks are not promised when you're a stay-at-home mom. And then my 5th con is kind of obvious, and it's the no second income thing. I know a lot of moms like work from home, and that's totally different. I don't make money. I sometimes will babysit other kids just to like bring in a little bit of money. But as a whole, if you are considering being a stay-at-home mom with no job, you're not going to have that second income. So that is just something you're going to have to budget out beforehand with your husband or your partner and just figure out if you can make it work. 9 times out of 10, you are going to be able to make it work. If it's something that you really want, you can make it work. But it might cause your husband to maybe work more hours, work longer hours. You may not be able to go out as much as you'd like or buy as much as you'd like, that kind of thing. You'll have to make budget cuts. Things are expensive in the world right now, and there's no way around that. So unless you are planning on working from home or turning a hobby into a business or something like that, which obviously is going to take time also, keep in mind that if you're going to be struggling without that second income, it probably isn't your time to be a stay-at-home mom. You definitely want to be smart about it. Yes, prioritize your kids and everything, but you want to be smart about it. All right, now we get into the fun stuff, which is the pros. My first pro is you get to be there literally every step of the way with you, and that is exciting to me. You get to see all their firsts. You get to watch them grow. You get to be there with them, playing with them, interacting with them, loving on them, all of that. And that brings such joy. Yes, it's hard, but it also brings such joy. My second pro is you always know exactly like what they're learning, what they're getting into, who they're interacting with, what they're exposed to, all of that. I try not to be a control freak, but like that does sound kind of control freakish to me. But like when they're that young and in this world we're living, and especially as a Christian family for us, it's hard. You can't monitor everything. When they're this little, you have a little bit more control about what they're exposed to. And just knowing exactly that and not worrying about what other people are showing them, family or babysitters or whatever it may be, there's a peace of mind in knowing that I'm in control kind of that right now in that stage of their lives. And that's just one less thing I have to worry about, honestly. My third pro is you don't necessarily have to miss out on things like due to work. You can just take your kids with you. Like if, say, your mom is having her birthday party at her house and you're having like a pool party, you can go, take the kids. Like they love to see grandma. Or like other friends' birthday parties or events, baby showers, whatever it may be, like you can take your kids. Like it's, honestly, I think it's good for your kids to get out and like be in that kind of social environment and just kind of get used to that. But you don't have to be like, oh, I can't because I have to work today. Like you don't have to do that. You can just take your kids, or you can go to Target because you feel like it and take your kids. Like yes, it's a process and it's going to take a little bit more time and patience on your part, but like again, I think it's important to take them out and about instead of having them cooped up in the house all day. So if your friend wants to go somewhere with you, like okay, I'll take the kids, let's go. And you can have play dates and stuff like that. Like just getting out is a lot easier versus if you were working, because obviously you can't go anywhere if you're working. So pro number 4, the kids are gonna remember playing with you and they're gonna make all of those memories with you, and that is something that is so special. Like yeah, it's gonna make it harder on your husband or your partner because they aren't home to witness those things and they're not making those memories with them. But like when they get home, you can turn it into, oh, I've played with them all day. Like I've been with them all day. Now it's your turn. Like it's your opportunity to be with them and play with them and make those memories with them. So it's kind of like a split kind of deal. And it gives you a break and a chance for your husband to play with them as well. But yeah, just being able to make those memories with your kids and not have them remember like a babysitter or like a friend watching them or something, which is fine too. Like it's not a huge deal, but like them remembering you and making those memories with you is just so special. All right, my 5th pro, I kind of already mentioned this earlier. I kind of tacked it on to my pro number 1, but it's just that there is such great joy in being able to be home with your kids. Like yes, it is challenging. Yes, they're going to be hard days, but like you're there with them and there's nothing like it, honestly. This is something that I would not change for the world, even though it is so hard sometimes. I just love seeing their joy and being a part of that joy. And just like being able to just look at my kids and be like, those are mine. Like God made me their mom and I get to be a part of their lives every day. And when they're that little and they want you all the time, like that will probably change. And just being able to be a part of their lives when they're so little and so dependent on you and just want to play with you and be with you every second is just so awesome. So yeah, I wouldn't have it any other way. Obviously I'm biased. I've never been like a working mom, so I'm biased, but this is just so special to me and so important to me. So if you are thinking about being a stay-at-home mom, just take into consideration everything that I've said with the cons and everything with the pros. Talk about it with your husband or your partner and just make like the best decision for your family, because everyone is going to be different. Every family dynamic is different, all of that. So just make like the best decision you could possibly make for you and for your family. With all that being said, that is all I have to say. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you are new, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.
Oh, life ain't a ding dong. If I could take you up and boom, 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 tell me